What's going on, everyone? It's me, uh, Chester21, and as I have said, I was changing my YouTube channel. I'm not gonna be doing any more gaming videos, uh, like video game type videos, but I have starting this season. I said I would start doing a little bit of sports commentary on what this past week was about and what I think about it. Um, I didn't get to watch a lot of the games that I wanted to watch, but I did get to watch a few. And the first game I'm going to go over is, of course, Kansas City. They won pretty handily over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Some important notes that I saw when I was able to watch the game was that Patrick Mahomes looked really sharp. And all this offseason, from the time the AFC Championship ended to every time the offseason, everyone was like, "Man, Patrick Mahomes is not going to do well. Everyone's going to figure him out. He's going to do horrible. He's not going to do well. All that." Well, what I saw was totally different from what I saw. Like I said, I wasn't able to watch most of it. He looked on fire, like usual. Um, some key players that I thought really helped Kansas City get the win, besides Patrick Mahomes, was Sammy Watkins. And everyone knows that if you're a sports fan, that Sammy Watkins came over from the Rams a couple of years ago, and he just went on fire. He had over 8 catches, if I remember correctly, 8 catches for over 100 yards. But the most important stat that I'm about to give you, which was pretty interesting when everyone said this, was that he had 3 touchdowns, which last season he only had 3 touchdowns in the whole season. Um, the the good news about that is he has come back stronger. So hopefully we'll be able to see a lot more of him this season. Well, you might be asking me, well, what's going on with Tyreek Hill? Tyreek Hill is injured, and he hurt his shoulder Sunday. So Jalen Ramsey hit him pretty hard, and he tweaked his shoulder collarbone, or something like that, if I remember correctly. His collarbone. He will not be He will not be playing for the. I think my sources said correctly, 8 weeks. So of course we got a good wide receiver core. We got Travis Kelce still, but besides Tyreek Hill's injury, Patrick Mahomes did come up limping Sunday, which, in my opinion, if he was fine, which he is fine, but if he didn't get hurt that game, he probably would have thrown for 5 touchdowns. Um, so that's my opinion. They play Oakland Sunday afternoon, which is the next game I'm going to talk about. Oakland, to me, looked phenomenal. Sadly, even though I don't want to say it, they looked pretty good. Um, they they played a bad Denver defense, in my opinion, and that team just looked on fire. And they had a bunch of problems with Antonio Brown, which is not on the team anymore. So they released him Saturday morning, and then he went over to the Patriots. But Oakland looked pretty good on both sides of the ball, which I know me saying that is not gonna is not very good, considering I'm a Chiefs fan. So he but Oakland looked pretty good. The next they scored. Oakland scored about 21 points on Denver's defense, which everybody was thinking Denver's defense was going to be okay this year. They still have Von Miller. They still have Chris Harris. They have Bradley Chubb. Um, that yesterday it just didn't look like the Denver defense that uh, 3-4 years ago I looked at uh, and was scared about. Their offense wasn't clicking as well. It clicked in the second half, but that Denver's offense, that is. But they could not get a touchdown at all, so that didn't help their cause. The next game I thought was pretty interesting was the Buffalo Bills game. The Jets basically allowed them to come back and beat them. They scored 17 straight unanswered points. Jared Allen looked, from what I could see, he looked, he didn't look like his rookie self, which when you're coming out from your rookie season and you kind of get nervous about what the next season's going to look like. But he looked okay. Their defense looked good. Le'Veon Bell for the Jets scored twice, one rushing and one receiving. Sam Darnold did okay. The Jets are going to be fine, in my opinion. They're not going to be like the Jets of old, I don't think. And the Jets of old, we've watched them go 5-12 and 5-6-13 and all that stuff. I think the Jets are getting the pieces together. Which brings me to the two teams that I think really shocked me this week. The first team that shocked me was the Tennessee Titans. Well, I'm going to do two teams that shocked me and two teams that were good and were bad. But Tennessee came out, went to Cleveland. Everyone was so hyped. I was hyped about Cleveland's offense. I'm like, Cleveland's going to be a playoff contender. They're going to be good. And Sunday afternoon, they didn't look like the Cleveland that I was expecting them to be. They acquired Odell Beckham in the off season. They added they got rid of Peppers from traded him to the Giants, and I thought with Baker Mayfield throwing to Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham, they would set the league on fire. And then of course you got Nick Chubb in the backfield, and then you got when Kareem Hunt comes back from suspension, he'll be coming back. He'll be a rough player to take down as usual. But the Browns, they couldn't keep Marcus Mariota and Derrick Henry out of the end zone. Tennessee's getting their pieces together. Everyone's healthy, starting to get healthy. Well, it's healthy. If Tennessee can stay healthy throughout the whole season, I wouldn't be surprised. And if they keep winning games, I wouldn't be surprised if they make it to the playoffs. But that's if they stay healthy and everyone. I'm not just talking about the offense. I'm talking about the defense too, because the defense is what helped Tennessee's offense. That's one of the teams that shocked me in a good way. The other team that shocked me was Minnesota. Minnesota went to Atlanta, and their defense just destroyed Atlanta's offense. And the reason I bring up that Minnesota game was because Atlanta had just recently, before the first week, had given Julio Jones a massive extension for 6 years. And everyone in Atlanta probably was like, man, this is going to work out for us. But Matt Ryan could not get the ball into Julio's hands that often. which, in my opinion, if he can't do that, if he has a mediocre season, like if Julio has a mediocre season like he did last season, wait until week 15, 16 to finally score a touchdown, that's not going to help Atlanta's cause for for playoff contention. Another team that shocked me this week in a bad way, like I said, was Cleveland. I'm not gonna labor much on it, and they just couldn't get the ball rolling. The other team that shocked me was the Chicago Bears. Shockingly, I expected them to beat the Packers, but I told people this. I said, when you don't play, when the first strings don't play that first season, that first in the preseason, they're gonna. It's not gonna be doing well for the first strings. You gotta get moving. So that's my two shocking teams that that shocked me this week. My two most shocked were Tennessee and the Minnesota Vikings. And my two worst teams that shocked me that I thought were gonna do good were the Browns and well, actually my second team I didn't really much, and the Falcons. I'm sorry. And well, you might be asking me, well, what about the Patriots? Well, Patriots are the Patriots, and I'm not saying that because they didn't do well. They won handily against a non-Antonio Brown offense, 33-3, which Tom Brady didn't need much. He scored three touchdowns, and that was it. That's all he needed. But that's the way the Patriots are gonna play. They've been playing that way ever since Tom Brady came into the league, and ever since he won his first Super Bowl, they've been unstoppable. The first game of Monday night, that was a barn burner. The Saints won that by a score of 31-27 against Houston. Houston looked decent. The Saints came out and looked good. But their defense, I would have to question their defense, because when you have 47 seconds left in the clock in the game, they should have put the Houston Texans away. Instead, Deshaun Watson threw two quick passes, got them in field goal range, and took the lead with 47 seconds. And that's proof that when people say when the game's not over, it's not over. That's proof, and that's not just in football. That's in basketball too. But I'm hoping next week will be a good week. Thursday night we got the Panthers and the Buccaneers. For that game, I'm gonna pick the Panthers. They're coming off a close loss to the Rams, which the Rams looked pretty good as well. They just didn't look as decent as, I mean, they looked pretty good as a team coming out from that Super Bowl loss. But they have to welcome in the Saints, which, if you watch the NFC Championship game, they were kind of gypped. Not kind of, they were gypped. So, that's why they manipulated some rules in the off season. But I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'll give you my predictions after Thursday Night Football. I hope you guys have a good day. God bless. And this is Jayhawks 21 calling out. Have a good day.